guys familiar with the work of Tom Cruise? You know those guys? Tom Cruise? He's had a hell of a career. Here's his bio. All right, a lot is said about Tom Cruise, but one thing is for sure, this man has range. He can woo you.
You? Complete me.
He can provoke you.
This is a game, guys. You want to think it's not, huh? You want to think it's not, you go back to the schoolyard. You have that crush on big-titted Mary Jane.
That's an awesome scene for Magnolia. He can also break you.
I want the truth! You can't handle the truth!
But any way you look at it, Tom is one of the biggest box office stars of all time. Let's go back to the beginning. Tom was born in Syracuse, New York, home of the Orange Men. Spent many of his early years on the move, including a few years in Ottawa, where legend has it, he started to perform. But when he was 12 years old, the big thing happened in his life. Tom's parents split up, and he ended up living with his moms in New Jersey, where, in high school, he starred in a production of Guys and Dolls, and my man got the acting bug. But like a lot of aspiring actors, you really can't do it in the town you're from unless you're from New York City, which is where Tom ended up, and he went to audition after audition. And in 1981, it really started to click. He made his on-screen debut in the movie Endless Love. 2 years later, his first starring role. No one forgets Risky Business.
Some of the girls are wearing my mother's clothing.
And that was clearly just the beginning, because we all know Tom went on to be in some of the biggest films of the 80s. Top Gun, alongside Paul Newman in The Color of Money, with Dustin Hoffman in Rain Man, and Oliver Stone's Born on the 4th of July.
They say it is a sin if you play with your penis. I just wish I could.
Don't say penis in this house! Penis! Penis! Big erect penis, Mom!
That's the role, by the way, that got Tom his first of 3 Oscar nominations. Now, something else happened in the late 80s. Tom married an actress by the name of Mimi Rogers, and like a lot of marriages, that one did not go the distance, but there was an impact, because Mimi is believed to be the person that introduced Tom to Scientology, which we all know now is a major part of his life. But the side we always see is the movie side. Let's go back there. By the time the 90s rolled around, Tom was kind of a blockbuster star, and he continued his run of hits. A Few Good Men, Jerry Maguire, Eyes Wide Shut, starring Tom and his then-wife Nicole Kidman, whom we met on a previous set. Since then, Tom's released a movie a year, and the one thing he is not is typecast. He was a bit of a mind bender in Vanilla Sky, slightly pathological in Collateral, and, well, he was, you know, kind of creepy / amazing in Tropic Thunder.
I know. You want the goodies.
Now, we all know when you're that big a star, you get a lot of publicity, a lot of drama, a lot of paparazzi. Tom has been questioned repeatedly about his faith, his marriage to Katie Holmes, and of course we've all seen a couple of high-profile moments on TV. Hello, Oprah. Along the way, you may have heard, and I don't know how you would know, but Tom and Katie had a baby girl. Her name is Suri. Tom also has 2 kids from his marriage to Nicole, but despite all the attention on his personal life, anybody who knows Tom will tell you he is zeroed in on his career. And his latest film is a big role. It tells the story of a group of high-ranking German officers who came up with a plot to kill Hitler and gain control of the military. The code name for the operation is the same name of the movie, Valkyrie.
Close the door. Be seated. Do you know how this war will end, Lieutenant? The portrait will be unhung, and the man will be hung. I'm engaged in high treason with all means available to me. Can I count you in?
Ladies and gentlemen, Tom Cruise. Apparently they know you. That's very nice. True or false, did you choose that role because you got to wear an eye patch?
Not true.
For a lot of people who don't know that
I
story...
couldn't wait to say that line, by the way. I'm engaged in high treason with all means available to me. I love that line.
I wonder if when you read a script, do you look at a script and think, regardless of the quality of the rest of the script, you see that one line and go, there's something there, I can do that.
There's movies where you read lines like that, go, oh, I can't wait to... I want to say that line. You know, I remember in Jerry Maguire, You Complete Me, that whole kind of stuff. I thought, oh, that's cool. You know, his dialogue, there's certain moments.
Do you know...
Help me help you.
You know, the Magnolia character, that whole character...
We can't say on...
Yeah. But a lot of people don't know in the Valkyrie story that there were many attempts at the life of Hitler at the time.
Yeah, I think when I read the script, I thought this is, just as a pure movie cinema experience, it was this conspiracy, thriller, suspense, because when I first heard about the story, I said, okay, but when I picked it up, I couldn't stop turning the pages. And then to know that these actual events happened, and the point that it's the level of courage, and I found it very inspiring and also gripping.
It's interesting, you know, because Spike Lee tried it with Miracle St. Anna. There's the idea that the German army, the Nazi soldiers, aren't one amorphous army, that within each army were these stories. Mm-hmm. And I wonder if that played a role for you. You looked at this and went, this is really the ultimate underdog.
Yeah, I felt it was, you know, for a movie, I felt it was the ultimate underdog. I thought it was, I want to entertain an audience. You know, the films that I've chosen have been varied, but my interest is in entertaining an audience. Like, when I see a movie, I want to be entertained, and this is just great drama, great suspense, and that's what I felt about it.
I wondered watching it.
And I hadn't heard this story before. I thought, is this true? And with the amount of research that Chris McCory had done, and to find out that, oh my gosh, actually Stauffenberg existed, and these things, all the things that are written in there are from the resistance and things that he had personally said. That's very well documented.
Well, his wife only died a couple of years ago, right?
I know.
Is it different playing a character where you know that there's a family?
Yeah, and I think that played a very strong part, even though the structure of the film is very much that, you know, thriller structure and suspense structure, but there's moments where I thought of him as a man going through this, where someone who realized that the only way to stop him is from within, that it's not enough to just kill Hitler. Because growing up, I always thought, why doesn't someone just pop a cap in Hitler, you know?
Because 50 Cent wasn't around back there. That's
50 Cent wasn't around, but I thought about that, you know?
I wondered, when watching that back, could you have been in that movie if you played the Nazi soldier who didn't have the redeeming? Could you have played the other side?
What do you mean?
You know, because that character is an interesting character because you have a journey with him. Mm-hmm. But to play the other side, the guys that didn't want to stop the assassination, could you have played a role like that?
I mean, I could have, but that doesn't interest me. Mm-hmm. No, not in that subject matter. That I wouldn't have done that. I don't know. I just, you know, for me, it's obviously I grew up. It's so tragic. I wouldn't be interested in telling that story. That story was already told for real, and I think that what interests me about this is that our perception of what these people were like and what a German officer was, to see it, it's new from the inside to see that, oh my gosh, there were people who could actually think for themselves, who disagreed with Hitler, and when, you know, the film doesn't put this in, but as early as 1938, where Stauffenberg is saying someone has got to shoot this guy, and this is not okay, and I found that very compelling.
You talk about a lot of varied movie roles you had, and within each character there's a lot of range. We'll come back and we'll talk more with Tom Cruise, and we'll talk about some of the choices he's made and some of the films he's been in. More with Tom Cruise when the hour returns. Also coming up, is Tom Cruise a stalker?
We drove to Hoffman's house outside, or, you know, at least what we thought was Dustin Hoffman's house.
How does he deal with failure, and what the hell was he thinking in Tropic Thunder?
I want to have fat hands. And I said, and I want to dance.
More with Tom Cruise when the hour returns.